Yeah. Should we continue now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. This I don't know why, but we don't require to do the installation on the daily basis. Mm, It's not required. You just have to do for the first time. Then you can simply open your application which we have created, AMC, which we have created yesterday, right? Now, there are few things we learned today, like how we can create these other objects. So how we will create these objects? What are these? Like what are their purposes? And if we open any object, let's suppose if I open account, you can if I open account, you can see some of these details. Okay, this is nothing, just the records. We call it a record. Let's suppose it's a one record of Edge Communication Company. These are the details of the Edge Communication Company, like Edge Communication phone number, its fax number, its website, its account number, Edge Communication industry, and the annual revenue and its address. So this is something like a details of the company. Okay, which we call it, which we save it in a form of records. So this is one record. Okay, if I open any other record like this, so it is a second company, Gene Point. So Gene Point company record will have a Gene Point related information. Okay, now today we'll learn how we can create this object. Any object which our client wants, we'll create first object. Then we'll see how we can create or what kind of fields we can create in the Salesforce. Like over here you can see rating, over here you can see phone, fax, website. There are different kinds of fields. Okay, so we'll learn how to create these fields and how we got the requirement for the client and how we fulfill. So for the step-by-step learning, I have added all the requirements in the form of user story, which is exactly the same process which we got in the company. We got all the requirements in the form of user stories only. Okay, there is no other way for us to, like, developer develops the requirement. Whatever is written over here, this is implemented by the developers. Okay, and for us, our work is to test the requirement. So I'll tell you how we have to do that as well. But first, we need to know how we can implement, how we need to study the requirement. Then we'll go for the next step, how we need to test. So this is the requirement. Like we have to create and manage customer accounts in the custom object. Okay. They want us to create one object and that object name should be custom. Okay. Now why they want this particular object? What are the fields they want? Let's read. I want to create and manage customer account details under this object. They want a name of the object custom so that they can store and manage customer details. Like this way, currently we are able to manage the company's information. Now, in this object, they want customer details in this particular object. Okay. Now, what are the field they want in that object? They want a custom name field should be there. Another field they want a phone. Then third field they want a website. Then industry, email, and so on. So we'll create all all the requirement of this user story today and learn how to create an object and the fields. Is this clear to everyone? So let's start. So now for creating the object, what we have to do, we have to follow certain steps. It's not a coding related thing which we will going to learn in this particular course. We'll learn whatever can be done via Salesforce admin part. Admin is just by clicking and following some steps, we can create anything. Okay. So simply click on setup. Now you will see home and object manager. Yesterday we clicked over here and type app manager to create an application. Okay. Now today we have to create an object. So we will click over here like object manager. Then we have to create an object. Right now you can see these are the objects which are already provided by the Salesforce. Let's suppose account, activity, this one, asset, approval and all. And you can see its type which is standard. So it's the same definition for the standard object. Anything provided, any object provided by the Salesforce, we call it as a standard object. Okay. Any object which we will create, we will call it as a custom object. Okay. Same thing goes for the fields. There are many fields. If I click over here, okay, so you can see account name, account number, active, annual revenue, many fields. So all these fields are provided by the Salesforce. So we can say these are the standard fields. Any field which we will implement, like in this requirement, we will implement many fields. Like this will be our custom object. We will create this field, this field. So all these will be our custom fields. So let's start how to create. So we have to click on object manager, then click on create. Now click on custom object. Okay. Now we have to give the name. For the name should be, let's suppose this object name is accounts. This object name is contact. So what name it should reflect over here. So we have to give the name. So we have to copy the name from here. The name is custom. We do not have to think by own. We just have to fulfill the requirement which client wants. Anyways, we'll be working for our client in any of the companies. So we have to understand the client need, client wants, what they want, and we have to fulfill the each and everything for their need. Now, in the plural, you can simply copy paste it and put S. Okay, like custom, you can put custom. If you write explore, then you can write explores. If you write knowledge, then you can write knowledge, but then S you can put. So that's it. Okay. Now, what we need to do,
Now we have a data type in the top, right? So this data type is for only the object name, right?
no, I'll tell this on the next steps basically. Let this data type be over here.
Hmm. Okay.
I'll tell you when I'll create a field, na,
Hmm.
then I'll discuss the data type.
Okay.
So you can see I have created an object. The object name is custom. You can search it over here. See, custom object is here, and you can see it's not a standard type, it's a custom type. Okay, because we have created bio. There is one more difference between a standard object and the custom object. If you see standard object API name, this is the API name. In the standard object API name, it does not end with underscore underscore C, which happens in the custom object. Okay, so we can distinguish any object by looking at this. Underscore underscore C represent it's a custom object. Same goes for the field. Underscore underscore C represent custom field. Understood?
Yeah, Tushar.
Yeah. Now if I refresh, Control Shift and R, you won't be able to see the object which I have created just now. Okay. There are few more steps which we need to perform. Now let me give you the insight. This is an object, please. This is another object. This is a third object which we have showed up over here. This is a fourth. Now we want to see the fifth object over here which we have created just now, right? Now that will not automatically show over here after creation. We call this part like overall a tab. This is a tab basically. Okay. And this is the application name. Now whatever object we have created, we have to add that particular object to this tab. This is a tab. Now on this tab we have to add the object. Okay. Now how to add the object on our tab so that it can be visible on our application, which is A and C. So I'll guide you through those steps. Click on home, click tab, then click on custom object tabs. Like whatever objects we create will come under custom objects. Okay. So click on this, create new. What which object you want to see over here? That is custom. So right now only one object is over here. We have created so only one option is there. We can select this. You can select this any, doesn't matter. Click next, click next. Now you want to see this object for which application? I mean, there are many applications in the Salesforce, surveys, site.com, and many others, and AMC as well. So this option is to select on which application your this particular object should display. So by default, all the options are true. As you can see, for the AMC as well, this option is true, which means on the AMC of the application, a new custom tab will show if I click save. Okay, so if we have created any object for particular application, we can select that as well. Like if I include only this, then also it will display for the AM. But now the difference is it will not display for other applications. Okay, let me save it. Okay, this is done. Now if I refresh, you will be able to see our new object called custom. Able to see?
Yes. Can you open any other application? We have selected other application also,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like these are many objects, so it shows like this now. Custom.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. If we haven't selected any other applications or only AMC, then it will show only for the that particular application AMC. Any questions so far? We have created the yesterday app. I have noted the steps for you. Okay. Then we have today created the custom object. I've noted the steps for you. Then we have to create a tab. I've noted the steps for you. Now we will create the field. There are the steps. Let's move on to our object called custom. If I click new, what new will do? This is a new button. Like if we click on new, let's suppose over here, then it will give me a set of fields where I can enter the data. And if I click save, a record will create like this. Okay. Now in the custom, if I click new, you can see only one field will display over here, custom name and the owner, which we do not have to enter any value, but no other field will display. So if I save the record, let's suppose ABC1, so it does not have any other field. But what our client wants, they want to see phone field so that any customer's phone number they can say, the website, so that if the customer have any website, they can enter industry, email and all. Okay. So we have to give some options over here, like what field should display, so that while creating a record, we can enter the value. Right now, we do not have an option, so we won't be able to enter. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Tushar,
hmm, yeah.
like we directly got the customer creating this.
Uh, can you come up again?
Like we directly got the field custom name creating this
Mhm.
custom service.
Yes, we got the first field custom name directly. Uh, this is something like whenever we create any object. Okay. So there is one field automatically created by the Salesforce. Okay. I I tell you,
Oh,
once we create few fields, then I'll discuss this part. What are data types and how this one field is auto selected and all.
yeah,
Okay. But one field will always be there for every object. So that let's suppose if there is no field, so there is no use of the new button, right? If you click new, what should open? If you think in this manner, if we click new to save the record, until unless we create any field, then this button won't work and we won't be able to save the record. At least we have one field, we are able to create the record with the name at least, right? So that is the purpose that Salesforce provides one field option. Like it's a mandatory part. We have to create like one field will auto create.
Yeah, Tushar, one thing here, the hierarchy is creating an application. Under application, there will be tabs. In tab, we will be creating an object. Under object, we will be creating a fields, right?
Correct, right.
Okay.
Now we have to create some fields into our custom object. Okay, the name object name is custom. We can put any name as well, but we are following our uh, user story. So we'll open our custom object like from here, custom. Then go to fields and relationships. To create a field, we need to move into fields and relationships. Now you can see there are four fields already implemented, which you haven't implemented yet, but four fields are still there. I told you one field, custom name field, or one field will always be there. Okay, so that you can create a. But what about other fields like created by, last modified by, owner? If I open this record, you can see these three fields over here. Owner, created by, last modified by. Okay. These fields are also created by the Salesforce by default. We can't change. their names. We can't change their names, but we can change the name of this particular field. Okay, first thing. Second thing, these fields show a very important information to us, like who created this record. Let's suppose in my org, if I give you the access, and you can create a new record. Okay, so I'll get to know you have logged in with your user. Then this particular field will have your name. Currently, I have created. I am Tushar Mittal. So my name is coming up over here. When I have created, this is the date. What is the time? That time. Okay. Currently, this particular record is assigned to Tushar Mittal. Only I have assigned. Like this, it's a owner kind of field. Like who will work on this particular record. So as per this, Tushar Mittal have to work. Okay. Last modified one. You can see currently 955, 9. Both are the same because I haven't updated the record yet. Let's suppose if I update the record now, so you can see the time has been changed. I updated the record on the 28th. Tushar Mittal has updated it, and the time was 10. So now it shows, you can see who created it and when it got updated, by whom it got updated, and who is the current owner of this record. Understood what it shows?
Yes. Yeah.
Now we'll create few more fields. You have to click on new to create a field. We have to create a field called phone. First field is already there, custom name. Now we have to create a field called phone. Phone. So let's suppose once we got the phone field over here. So phone field will have what kind of data? Like what we should enter in the phone field.
Numbers.
I mean in the custom name, we are entering the name. Okay. Now in the phone field, what we will enter?
Numbers.
Number, right? Phone number basically. If we go into detail, then phone number. Now in the Salesforce, we have the data type. Data type is something. If you're creating any field, let's suppose the field is phone. So we should know what kind of data that particular field will hold. Okay. Now we know phone field will hold the number. Okay. So we will select a data type according to our need. So we have a number data type. Okay. We can select this as well. But we have a phone data type as well. Exactly phone. What is that? If you read, allow users to enter any phone number, it automatically formats it as a phone number.
But we also need suffix also, right? For example, +91.
Yes. So it says automatically formats it as a phone number.
Mm-hmm.
If we select number, then it will not do this. But if we
Okay.
select phone, then it will do this. So Salesforce has already provided this particular data type bio because it's a very frequently used. Salesforce is used to store the data of the different customers so that they can do their businesses with them. So storing the data and putting a phone number, it's like for every business, for every client, phone number field is very useful. So Salesforce has implemented one data type called phone for We'll select 4, then click next. Okay. Now we need to give the field name. Field name is something which should display over here. Right now we have selected only the data type. But what should be the field name? We have to pick it over here from the requirement. Then simply copy paste it. Then then you can see there is a checkbox called required. Required means if I click save, you can see I'm not able to save the record because they are saying please, like they are saying custom name field is mandatory. You can't save the record if there is no value in the custom name field, right? So if we want to make any field mandatory, required, then we have to select this checkbox required. Okay. Second thing, we can't decide which field should be mandatory or which field should not be. This should give by the client in the form of user story, or we should ask by the client what like this field should be mandatory or not. It should be our question. Basically, developers implement it, so this question should be of the developers. Tester test it. It should be the question of the testers as well. So you can see on the mandatory column, it says this field should be mandatory. Yes. So we'll select yes over here, true over here, and then proceed. Now you can see it's tick on the visible part, like on all these profiles. Basically, when I created the application, if you remember, I selected the system admin profile. Okay, so it's a profile basically. Just remember, like a profile, we have selected the system admin. If we select true on this, then only I, Tushar Mittal, will be able to see this field even after creation. If we do not tick on this particular field on the system admin, then the field phone field will not display to me.
So
Okay,
these are all
so
different roles we have it in the system.
yes, these are all different roles in the system. We will create and learn how we have to create the different roles as per the businesses and what are their needs. So it's like if you work in any company and there is a IT team. So IT team is someone who can edit, who can do anything at the back. Okay. So they got the admin access. Administration means who have all the access of the system. Okay. There are few employees who work in the company. Let's suppose a trainee. If a junior employee is junior employee hires as an intern. So they got the access of the system, but with a very limited access. So how much access any person should have based on their role, their designation on the offer letter, that decides which thing the particular employee should display or which application they should be able to see or not. So for that access, this particular roles and profiles are there into the picture. Now click next. Okay. You can see our field phone is created. You can see it's underscore underscore C. What does it mean?
It's a custom object,
Yeah. No, it's not an object, it's a field.
field custom field. No?
It's a custom field. These are standard fields which are created by the Salesforce. We haven't done any effort in creating these fields. So we call it as a standard field. Anything provided or created by the Salesforce automatically is a standard. Something which we have created by own is called a custom. It can be a field, it can be an object, it can be a application, anything. Okay. Now we have to see the field. Whatever field we have created, now we have to check. field is not displaying over here, not a problem. You have to refresh 2 to 3 times with the control shift and R. If still it doesn't work, no problem. I'll tell you one more concept over here. Just click it over here on that. You can see there is an option switch to Salesforce Classic. Just click on it. Now you
Is
can
it
see.
something like a Ignoti mode, like we have it in browser?
Uh, can you come up again?
Is it something like Ignoti mode, like we have it in browser, right? Like private window or something like that? Or
No.
this?
Basically, Salesforce have a cache issue, so it doesn't shows you any implementation very quickly. Like it takes some time, or you can say like if you log out and log in once again, then it can show you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
this is an
So
earlier
whatever,
version.
yeah. Now we have moved to a Salesforce Classic version. So this is a Salesforce older version, which is very fast. It doesn't look good. Our client don't want to use because it's very untidy comparing to the version which we are using, which we call it as a lightning experience. This is the lightning experience, and if we go on to the classic, this is the older version of the Salesforce. Okay, you can see these are the objects. This is the tab. Okay, now if we click on the custom tab and click new, over here you can see our field. So updates come to this particular version. It's very fast. Like it's like instant. If you're implementing anything, you can verify on the classic mode at the same time. Okay. So now you can see phone field is added over here, which we have created. Any questions from anyone?
No.
Okay. I entered the data. Click save. Now let's go to the lightning. So these two records we have created so far. You can see if we click any record, it's still not showing. Okay, now it's showing. Okay. So I told you it's slow, but once it's loaded, then it will always show. So now you can see the phone number.
No, I had one question, right? The phone number, how to insert suffix there, +91.
Uh, I'll tell you, by this way it's not possible. Like we have selected the proper data type, phone.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. But Salesforce standard behavior does not support that prefix like it should be 91, it should be what.
Mm.
Okay. So that can be set up in some other way. Like what should be the like should we show the prefix and what should be the code? Okay. So
Okay.
there is one more way which I'll tell you. Not in the today's class. I need to check
Okay.
how we need to set up. But yeah, I'll tell. You can write this thing on the. Let me write it over here so that I can phone prefix set. Now let's create the another field. Like we can create the website, industry, email. There are many others. So you guys can try. Let me create the another field called industry. Okay, so again we have to click new to create the field. Now if we go over here and understand what industry field should have, so you can see they want these values should be there in the industry field, agriculture, apparel, banking, this, biotechnology, so that it's a kind of a pick list field. What is pick list? Pick list is something like this.
Drop
We
down
can select
list.
anything, drop down, pick list. So we have an option in the Salesforce. We can select option pick list, not a multi pick list, pick list only. What pick list and multi pick list means? Multi basically means we can select more than
Multiple
one values
values.
at the time. Like uh, we can select only one, but if we want to select more than one values at a time, we should be able to do. So for that situation, we have a multi pick list. But if we have to select only one value, then we have to click on this data type pick list, click next, write the name, field name, then what data it should have. Like we have to give, select the second option because we have to provide the data. Now enter values with each value separated by a new line. So let me do this. If this is done, I have entered all the values which is required in the user story. Now it shows you few options like display values alphabetically, not in the ordered end. I mean, I've already entered in the like first A name are coming then B. Let's suppose if I doesn't put in the ordered form, if I click it over here, then it will automatically show the first A names, then B names, then C names, and D name options. Okay. So right now I have already shown up like or written the this format A then B. So it will obviously show me in the same. Do we need this value of field required? I don't know. We need to check. So you can see it's saying it's not a required. So we will not click through over here and proceed next. Now this field should be applicable to whom? So for the system admin, it should be applicable. Click next and save. So we can check this field. Obviously it will not show. So I'll directly check in the Salesforce Classic. Move to customs. Click new. Now you can see the field called industry is coming up over here. And you can see all the names agriculture, apparel, banking, biotech, and all. All these fields are over here which we have developed. Understood? How we can create an application, then how we can set a tab, then how we can create a few fields.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes, Tushar.
Now, in the same manner, we can create a website, email, employee, annual revenue. Okay, and the billing address and the shipping address. Okay, so this will be your homework how to complete Like you have to create the application, obviously, if you haven't tried yet. Then create the object. Then after creating the object, create the tab. Then complete this user story by creating all the fields. You have to try out creating all the fields. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Now I can check this part. We have a time. How to set up in Salesforce. Right. Uh, so we'll learn one field, one data type basically. So if we click new, we have to select this formula, then that plus 91 plus something we can implement by this. So we'll do this field, then I'll tell you how we can uh, do this particular part which you have asked. Okay, or we can do it via code. So there is a limitation, like not each and every requirement can be fulfilled by the point and click from the Salesforce admin. That is why company hires a Salesforce developer employees. Okay, so because it's something which is not possible by the admin, but client wants, they, they doesn't matter like how they are developing the thing, they just want it. So a developer is a person who know how to write codes, who know how to use admin, and when to use admin and when to write the code. So let's suppose I'm not a developer, so I don't know how to write a code. But let's suppose if I'll being the developer, then I used to write the code to fulfill this requirement. Okay,
What
so
code developers use for this? Like which language they use?
Epics,
Apex.
uh, Epics, which is similar to Java.
Hmm. Okay.
Epic is like they use Epic's language, which is easier than Java, but
Hmm.
it's like if anyone knows Java, then they can learn this Epic language in a week.
Hmm.
But for our role, writing a code is not required at all.
Yeah, yeah,
That is why I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, now let me go to these. So I'll share this PDF with you. Uh, you then go through the steps over here, like for the creation of custom object, tabs, fields, picklist field. Okay, there are many other steps which we will perform for various things. Those are also noted over. Now let's go on to the theory part. So we have learned what like the creation of the application, tabs, objects, fields, and relationships, and we have seen the records. What is record? These are the records. Okay. Now let's go on to just the theory part, like the definition point of view. So application, as you all know, it's a collection of tab. We have created a tab. It's a collection of objects, fields, and various other configuration we're going to do. So application is nothing. It's just a collection of tabs, objects, fields, and some permissions and many other configurations collaborating. We called as a application. Okay. So in any app, what we have, like we have the app launcher. What is that app launcher? This is the app launcher. Okay. What are the standard apps? Standard apps is something which is already provided by the sales. Pre-configured apps like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. These are the standard apps provided by the sales. What is custom? Which we create, okay, for our need, for our client need. That is called custom apps. What is navigation? Like navigation, nothing like you can see a tab. So tab is usually available so that we can open any object. If there is no tab, then we can't open the custom object or any object. So for that purpose, tab is being used to display an object so that we can use that particular object for our business process. Okay. Now, if we go into the details, what is tab? Tab is the navigation link to objects or features like account, contact, dashboard, or any custom object. It represents standard or the custom objects such as this. There are various type of tabs: web tabs, visual force tab, custom tabs. So right now we have used custom tabs, but we have few other tabs like visual force, web tabs as well. Okay. So for showing the object, we use custom tabs or the object tabs. Okay. Now if we want to show some form or some website should display over here, or like if we click, let's suppose it's a custom, there we can add other than object as well. Okay, usually it doesn't require, we do not use, but if someone have to use it, there is an option provided by the Salesforce. In that tab itself, you can uh, implement visual force tab or the web tabs. This, like these are done by the coding, we won't be able to do it, but just for the interview purpose, just for the knowledge purpose, anyone can ask you what are the different types of tabs available in the Salesforce and what are their uses. So you should know we have object tabs, web tabs, visual force tabs, and the custom tabs. Custom tab is used to uh, show the objects, custom objects which we are creating. Object tabs are used to show the object which are standard provided, like which are already provided by the Salesforce. Web tabs are used to show the external web pages, and the visual force, like any visual force pages developed or created by the development team, can show some pages in the visual force. So only that much is important for our uh, for this particular role and for the interview purpose. Now we have created the object. So what is object? So object is something. It's nothing like if we go on to the Excel, you can relate the application. This is a tech one. Okay. In the Salesforce, this is the app name. The like this is Excel. Okay. One folder, tech one. The same thing we say it as a AMC. Okay. These are the objects. We call it into our Excel. These are the tabs. Like this is the sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. We can name them as a custom, we can name them as a account, lead, contact. Okay. Now in these objects, what it stores the information, okay, in the form of records. We can do the same thing over here as well. Like we can put uh, this can be the field, custom name, phone, then industry. Like if I want to store the data, ABC1, ABC1, 2, phone number, something like this, industry, healthcare, banking. So the each and everything which we are storing into a Salesforce in the form of record, we can store in the Excel as well, like in this. So we call it is the one record, this is another record, and it is stored in a this tab, sheet 7. We can give the name custom. So don't you feel like this thing, whatever we are displaying in the Excel, in this particular tab called custom, it is same like over here, but it just a look and feel is different. How it is showing into a Salesforce, it's different, but the data which we are entering, the fields which we are creating are the same. So object, so that is why the definition is like this.
One
An
question I
object.
have, Tushar. Sorry
Hmm,
to interrupt you.
yeah.
Actually, as part of QA, I know you are teaching from the point of administrative, and we are creating all these objects, fields,
Hmm.
data types, everything. But from point of QA, so will we be creating all these things in real
No,
time?
no. We will
Only
never
the
get a chance
functionality,
to
right?
create all these things.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean you should not know.
No,
I'm
understood.
also I'm also a QA. Okay.
Mm, mm,
Whatever I know, whatever I'm teaching,
mm,
I have not learned anything specifically for the teaching purpose. Okay.
mm,
So
mm.
if something I know, it means any QA should know. Please be clear on that.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay. If I know anything, I'm not doing anything fake like just for the teaching purpose. I learned this particular topic for the implementation point of view as well. But we need it. We do not implement it, but at least we, if I know how to check which object is custom, which what are
Mm,
the fields available, so at least I should know. We have to go into the setup, then click on the object manager. We can type the name of the object, or we can search it over here. We can
mm,
got to know this is a custom object or not. We
mm,
can see the fields, we can see the data types selected by the developers are correct or not, each and
mm.
every. So we should know how to navigate, where to navigate.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that is required. So we will not implement admin part fully, but there are few sessions which are required to be implemented by the QAS.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
After doing some implementation, we'll learn what will be the QA part as well. It's
Okay.
the second session only, so we can't do it until
Mm,
unless you complete one or two stories by own. Then on the third part will be a QA. We'll learn how what are the QA roles in this.
sure, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And for the interview perspective,
Mm,
admin part, like it's a 50-50. 50%
yeah.
admin part is being asked, 50% QA part is being asked.
Mm,
So anyways you have to know the admin part. Okay. Third thing, why admin part is required. As I told you, these are the two certifications which Salesforce provide, and
mm,
there is no specific certification for the Salesforce QA.
yeah.
So these are the admin certifications. So if someone is saying, I'm a Salesforce associate or I am a Salesforce admin, it means that person should know Salesforce admin at least a bit. They can't
Yeah.
say, I completed a certification by maybe proxy or any there are many options in the market. You can complete it. But at least you should know anything, right?
Yeah.
So for fulfilling all our needs, so that you can work in any company, should sound like an experience. We should know admin part properly.
Mm,
At least whatever topics I know, whatever topics I am teaching, you should know those.
yeah. Got it.
So I was talking about the object. So we call it as like a object. It is like a table like this. It stores the data in the form of records. Like for each and every field, there is some data. We call it as a record. So that's it. So we have two kind of objects, standard and the custom. Standard is something which Salesforce provide. We have these options. Custom, which we create. Let's suppose the custom name of the object we have created. We can create another object. We'll be creating in our journey. So custom is something which we create. That's it. Then API name. We can distinguish custom object with the API name underscore underscore. For the standard, we does not have underscore underscore C. Okay. So these are the few key points which we can uh, explain to our interviewer whenever they ask like what is object, what is application, what is tabs. These basic questions are being asked by the interviewers. So don't take these light. Like interviews do ask what are the fields Salesforce automatically provides. So we have like the owner, last modified by, created by, and one other another field is also provided by the Salesforce. So these are the minimum fields which Salesforce provides. So we should know their names, what this field does, what this field does, and what this field does. Why these three fields are created by the Salesforce? What are their purpose? So we should know things in this much detail. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have covered the fields and data type. So it's simply what kind of a data any particular field should hold. That is called a data type. Rather than giving a definition, I prefer to give examples so that you can make interviewer understand. So you can explain like there is a field called phone, which for that we can use a phone as a data type, or like let's suppose if we have to select many values out of 10, or like you have to select one value out of 10, we can call it as a data type drop down. So we can select pick list in a Salesforce and we can name that particular field industry or any. So these are the data types which few we have used. Like we have used pick list today, we have used phone today. Okay. So likewise this you can use few other data types which is being used in all these fields. You can try out whatever data type you want to use, whatever you feel like which should be suitable for you for each and every field. So that's about the fields and the data types and record. These are the records. The single entity is the record. Like in this, we call it as a one record. Over here, we call it as a one record, second record. You can go over anywhere. Like this is a one record. This is a second. Okay. So if you open any record, you can see in any of the record, this is the URL. It shows in which object you are. So we are on to the custom object. Now you have opened this ABC one. You can see there is a 16 or 18 digit number. It's the ID. So it's unique for each and every record. Okay. If NAIAY, if I open some other record, you can see it will be different. See, it's W5JAA. So this is a very unique ID, which is unique for each and every record in the Salesforce. So what is a record? A record is a single data entry. It contains actual data for that object and represents a specific entry in the system. Like it has a unique record ID which I showed you. It comes on the record page. It's the record page. Okay. Then data, like whatever data it holds the data. That's all. Okay. So we'll learn the page layouts and the fields and relationship topic. There are many other things which we need to discuss, all other data types as well. Okay. But from the topic front we have covered so far. Any questions from anyone?
Hi Tushar, where we can see the stories
Uh,
complete this.
can you come up again? This user story you are saying.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
access
for
is
that I was coming. Yeah. So basically Jira tool is a paid tool. It's not a free. So what I thought, if anyone from you can create a Gmail ID, let me stop the recording.